What is going on, guys? Welcome to Gregos TV. In this video, we're going to talk about if you should buy the Galaxy S23 Ultra or the Galaxy Z Fold 4. I get this question a lot. I get it from a lot of you guys. I answer it at least weekly, if not multiple times a week, because everybody, obviously you don't see all my videos and you probably don't see me answering it. So I'm gonna make one video, and if anyone ever asks me again, I'll just link them to this video on which phone you should buy. Now, before we dive too deep into this video and I give, positives for both phones, I do wanna say that I think without a doubt, if you've never tried a Galaxy Z Fold phone, try it. It's really fun. And the great thing about it, at least in America and I assume most of the world, is if you buy it, you can return the device within a certain amount of time. Like in America, if you return it before 14 days, you get your money back. There's no restocking fee, there's nothing. You just get your money back. You don't have to send in your traded in phone at the same time either. You can wait on that so you're not out of phone in case you traded it in and you sent the Z Fold back. So without a doubt, I would say give the Z Fold phone a try. Even if you don't think you're gonna like it, but you're kind of intrigued by it, give it a try because they're so much fun. With that said, let's jump into the positives for each of these phones. Now let's first talk about the Galaxy S23 Ultra phone, what I think is going to be better on that phone versus the Z Fold 4. And let's be honest, the S23 Ultra will probably be a better phone in almost every single way versus the Z Fold 4 in terms of just like day-to-day specs. But still, the Z Fold 4 for me is just a more intriguing device. But with that said, let's still talk about the S23 Ultra. So first of all, cameras. Cameras are absolutely maybe some of the most important things for people. And Samsung has shown us that they put their best cameras on the S23 Ultra. They always have the highest megapixels, the longest or best zoom. They have the newest software, they have this, they have that. So with that, if you want the best cameras, you're gonna wanna go the S23 Ultra. Now, I don't think the Z Fold 4 is gonna be a slouch. They will have S22, S22 Plus type cameras, which are not bad at all. But if you need and want the absolute best, you have to get the Ultra version in order to get that for the S23. Also, to do with the best of, you're probably gonna get faster charging. Now, we don't know for sure. It's probably at least gonna be 45 watts. That's what they had in last year's version of the S22 Ultra. S23 Ultra, I really think they're gonna take a next step up. And Z Fold 4, they're probably gonna stick at 25 watt, or I can see them going to 45 watt, but probably not faster than that. So I think that faster charging probably will come to the S23 Ultra, and if it does, I think it'll be like 60 or 65 watts. Next up is a brighter display. The S22 Ultra literally had the brightest display of any Samsung phone. I think the brightest display of any phone from what I know of, and I still see the same thing happening with the S23 Ultra. It's either gonna be at 1500 nits, or it's gonna end up going even higher. Maybe, who knows, 2000 or 1750 or something crazy. So the brightest display is probably definitely gonna go to the S23 Ultra. Next would be, let's be honest, it is easier to hold. It doesn't have to open, doesn't have to close, and it's a normal form factor for what you're used to. It's a candy bar device, so holding it is gonna be a big thing. If you hate opening and closing a device, or you're worried about that because of the reliability of it, that could be something to do with it. And even just holding this in hand, you also have to add to the fact that durability. This phone's probably a little bit more durable. Now, if you take a case off it and just drop them both, they're both gonna break, let's be honest. But at the same time, it's easier to get a case for this one that's very durable and very protective than the Z Fold 4. But with that said, I've had the Z Fold 3 and I've had great cases on here and I haven't broken it. I've dropped it multiple times, and I know for a fact there's some great cases coming out for the Z Fold 4 that are super protective with tons of protection that will protect it just as well. But again, durability and all that stuff, you'd probably have to give it to the S23 Ultra over the Z Fold 4. Another big one, integrated S Pen. You're not gonna get it with the Z Fold 4. S Pen will be on the outside of the phone, probably in a case. So if you need it integrated, you're gonna wanna get the S23 Ultra. S22 Ultra has it integrated already. I can't see them removing it from the S23 Ultra. It just seems like a step back. So integrated S Pen's a huge win for the S23 Ultra. This is another big one. Now, with the Z Fold 4, most apps look completely fine. I'd probably say 95% plus look absolutely great. But if you need the apps, basically all of them to look fine, aspect ratio, you're gonna wanna get an S23 Ultra, because phones at least from the last 10 years or so, are made for these candy bar phones. They haven't all necessarily flipped and made the switch to look great on a folding device. Now, will they get there? I think they will eventually through emulation with Google software and obviously the apps being updated, and then also Android software. You can change the aspect ratio, but you don't really have to do any of that for the most part with these candy bar phones. The last two are givens. You're gonna get newer software on the S23 Ultra. Because why? Because it's going to be the newest phone that they released at the time, early next year. And then also newer processor. You're going to get obviously the newest Snapdragon processor, probably the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2, which will be more efficient, more powerful. What does that mean in day-to-day usage? Probably not a lot, honestly, but it is something to know. The longer you wait, no matter which device it is, you usually get newer software and newer processor and just newer hardware overall. So you might even get newer, faster storage inside as well. So it's things like that that are just gonna come because of time going on, but it is something to know. Now, let's jump to the Z Fold 4, because for me, the Z Fold 4 is, the Fold line in general, is just an exciting, fun device. There's a lot of just plain old fun to have. And you know, we've had phones forever, and when you get one of these phones, like a candy bar phone, you know, if you upgrade every year, you're kind of like, well, that's exciting. It's the same phone every time. And now you'll have to admit, we're getting to that point with the folding phones a lot of the time too. But when you jump from something like this to this, there's a fun factor that comes back, at least it did for me and a lot of other people with these devices. So let's talk about this. And the big one, obviously, is the huge display. This is very, you know, once you open this up, you're like, what the heck? This is like a little tablet in my hand, and it's really fun. And by fun, I mean doing anything, from playing video games on here, watching movies and TV shows, and just plain old videos like on YouTube and stuff like that is really, really cool. It's tough to understate that in terms of, you know, you just being able to showcase that, because like I said, phones kind of are boring at this point, and this brought a lot of the fun back to me, and I'm really stoked about it. I keep getting a text, I'm gonna be honest with you, from my cousin-in-law. I'm gonna put this on Do Not Disturb. So that'd be a thing in there that I would really, really love. It's the display on here. It's like, dude, you get this huge display, but then you remember, you can use this as a small display as well. So like, the cool thing about this is you can pull this right out of your pocket and start using everything you can do on the big display, you can do on the small display. And the nice thing about having this small display is the aspect ratio. A lot of the things just work. You know, if an app looks weird, say Instagram looks weird on your big display, opening it up in this generally fixes that issue. So remember that. And remember, the Z Fold 4 is due to be wider. So this display on the Z Fold 3 versus Z Fold 4, for instance, should be a little bit more comfortable to type and use on the smaller display as well as the bigger display. Some other things that I think will pop up is I think the Z Fold 4 will probably have better speakers than the S23 Ultra. Not a huge deal, but I expected to. Z Fold 2 had some great speakers, and then the Z Fold 3 I felt like took a step down because of the water resistance they added to that. It affected the quality and the loudness of the speaker. It just doesn't sound as good as the Z Fold 2. So I'm hoping we get a big jump on the Z Fold 4 with having it better speakers, especially versus the S23 Ultra. The other thing that I really think is important and cool, and I love, side-mounted fingerprint sensor. You grab the phone, especially if you have a pop socket or something on, you know, you grab the phone, you just put that fingerprint, unlocks automatically. It's very comfortable, very natural as well. I'm not a big fan of the underscreen fingerprint sensors. This is super accurate. Underscreen fingerprint sensors are also accurate, don't get me wrong, but for me, comfort, reliability, speed, accuracy, and just overall usage, I love the side-mounted one, especially on the Z Fold 3 and 4. And the last one, it's kind of lame, but I think it's pretty cool. It gets people talking and it makes them say wow again about a device. You pull this out of your pocket. I always say it, I'm at Target and I pull this out and they're like, damn, what phone is that? And then they instantly say, wow, that's really cool. What phone is that? I love that. Where can I get it? You know, and they find out it's Android, and I think they take a poop, but it's still, I mean, it's so cool to have that come back as a phone, usually, because everybody has a phone now, and to have somebody be like, wow, what is that? Wherever you are, have it be friends of friends or family that haven't seen you in a while, and they see this phone, a lot of them get excited. It's a cool device. So, and I think that's the big factor, is like, these phones, I should say, bring the fun back to phones. You know, I had it with iPhone in the beginning, and then the Note phones, and now the folding phones. So this is really, really cool stuff. So I think that's why you should try it out. And if you don't like it, return it. Get your S23 Ultra or whatever other phone you're getting. Thanks for watching. Let me know about your list. Which do you think is a better phone to buy and why in the comments down below. Have a great day. We'll see you down the road.